Tonight it was like a scene right out of the movie Twister, but this time it's very real, and it happened right here. Tonight, we're on the storm track. Good evening, I'm Michael Tuck.
And I'm Ann Martin. Rain, wind, and snow are the story around Southern California tonight, but the image we're all going to remember from today is that twister. Tonight, Jason Carroll is at the scene where the twister ripped through a neighborhood. We start with Jennifer Sabe and home video of that tornado. Jennifer.
Well, home video, Ann, that gives you a rare look at a rare weather condition for us here in Southern California. Home video that you saw here first on Channel 2.
Get inside!
When it hit, some thought this must be an earthquake. Others thought maybe a fire. Probably because we're accustomed to those in Southern California, and this was something completely out of the blue, or in this case, out of the gray, a tornado.
And it was just like a funnel cloud that had touched down and was just ripping across the roof, about 50 feet in diameter. Winds, I would guesstimate, in excess of 70, 80 miles an hour. The roof was just tearing off, I mean, just in chunks.
CBS 2 News weather watcher Lanny Valinsky had come to pick his son up from school. He'd been away at camp, so Lanny brought his home video camera to record the reunion. Good thing he did, because even with his own two eyes, Lanny had a hard time believing what he was seeing. Here's what he saw, what it's like when a tornado touches down.
It was very scary.
Ever seen anything like this before?
Never in my life before.
The kids had never seen anything like it before either, except perhaps in The Wizard of Oz.
Part of them were laughing and saying, oh, cool, you know, we got a quick twister in California, and then some of them were like, oh my gosh, I wonder how my mom's doing, and other ones were just like astonished because they didn't know what was going on.
We saw like roof coming off of the trash.
Yeah?
And they were tipping over trash cans and everything. And that's what I saw. They pushed me in there. You could be there.
Okay. That's part of the roof, huh?
That's
All right.
part of the roof.
Some pieces of the school roof became tornado trophies of sorts. Others were flung too far out of reach by a weather phenomena that's come to Southern California only about 25 times in the last 30 years. None of the kids at this school were hurt, just surprised, but the roof on this building was tore up pretty badly, as were many of the windows broken out. Reporting live from Long Beach, I'm Jennifer Sabe, CBS 2 News, and back to you.
Quite a day there. Thank you, Jennifer.
Sure was. That twister was quite powerful enough to peel part of the roof right off a crowded supermarket. Now just take a look at this view from Shopper 2 from above. This Lucky store stood right in the path of the twister. Now to give you a better idea of how this all played out, we asked our graphic artist to give us a rendering. Here it is. Witnesses say the tornado literally hopscotched across the top of the store, splintering the roof and sending debris flying into the air. Jason Carroll is live in Long Beach right now to show us more. Jason?
Well, Mike, as you can see, there's still a lot of work that still needs to be done on this Lucky supermarket. Salvage crews tell me that the tornado literally lifted the roof up and then set it back down. So they're going to be inside there, stabilizing the building so people can get back inside.
You're looking at what remains of the rooftop of the Lucky store in Long Beach. Salvage crews gave our cameras an up-close look at how the twister ripped a 60 by 60 foot hole in the roof. Customers in the store and in the McDonald's next door had to duck for cover.
We hid behind the counter underneath like the French fry machines and stuff. I was driving in the middle of it and things were just falling to the left and the right of me, and it was kind of like, where do you go?
These students from Millikan High School didn't know where they should go when all the debris from the tornado moved their way.
Blue sparks were flying everywhere and the tornado was twirling, and there was birds in the tornado and there was parts of roofs in the tornado.
A few blocks away from Millikan High School in this neighborhood, there's damage too. The force of this tornado snapped this tree in half. It ended up landing right in the front yard of this home.
Trees that didn't snap were simply uprooted. Chunks of rooftops were torn away, and the twister sent someone's shed flying down the street.
We looked up outside, and there was a whole shed in the sky, and we thought it was going to fall on our house.
It missed their house and found a utility pole instead. Sheds and wires, trees and shreds, and holes in supermarkets. Pictures once reserved for the Midwest are now being shot here, thanks to a storm that had something in it few of us are used to.
experiencing a massive downpour right now that might slow work down just a little bit. You know, when you look at all the damage, it's amazing no one was seriously hurt. One woman inside the store had a small cut on her head, but she's going to be okay. We're also told that right now some 500 people here in Long Beach are without power. Power should be restored sometime tomorrow morning. Reporting live from Long Beach, I'm Jason Carroll, CBS 2 News.
Look at all that destruction. We were lucky nobody was hurt, Jason. Thank you.
Still raining on Jason.
It started raining and started blowing very hard, and then all of a sudden everything started moving extremely hard and blowing, and I'm from the Midwest and originally, and all of a sudden it just started going, and I screamed. I told my boss, I said, I've got a problem here. I screamed, dropped the phone, picked up my dog, ran to the hallway, and by the time I got to the hallway, my back patio was already gone, and I could just feel the pressure in the vacuum in the house, and I just laid on the floor until it was over.
So being from the Midwest, you said you knew this was a twister that hit the house?
Yes, yes. I absolutely did, yes.
Did it make noise?
Oh, yes. It was like a train going through, yes.
I had heard from a friend that a tornado gone through our neighborhood, and I came home from work, was told the roof was gone, and this was a room with a pool table, couches, and now as you can see, it's the biggest skylight in Long Beach. The roof is out in my front yard now. It was on our roof and on the neighbor's roof.
Now you saw that tarp work was being put up there by a number of emergency personnel. That was a whole paramedic class that was nearby at Long Beach Memorial. One of the roommates here lives here. When he got the call, his class came out to help him out. They quickly patched things up, but it'll be a while before things get back to order here. As you saw there is now the largest skylight in Long Beach. That's over here, and that room has been considered a total loss by insurance, so they're going to have to rebuild. Reporting live from Long Beach, Adrienne Alpert, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Michelle, back to you.
All right, Adrienne, thank you. In other news, a final farewell for entertainer-turned-politician Sonny Bono today in his adopted home of Palm Springs. Thousands of people, including a former president, vice president.
I say, well, look, being trained. In the place earlier. No, Sonny.
And Field, our stand.
Guys, remember that?
Tonight, suspects in two.
Lots of wood flying.
No, there's just like one wood and then a lot of branches came off the tree.
Part of the roof?
Yeah, some of the roof came off. There's some of the green like plastic.
Okay.
My grandma said that her son called.
Nobody heard, but their hearts were pumping pretty good for a while.
Oh, boy, that was exciting tape. Really.
That tape, by the way, again, courtesy of our weather watcher, Lanny Valinsky. We thank him.
Thank you so much. We have another perspective for you now on the twister and the damage that it did, this time looking down from up above. Aaron Fitzgerald is live over Long Beach, and I believe you're over the Lucky store, which took a big hit today, Aaron.
That's right, Ann. We're over the Lucky, which is about a mile away from where that video was shot. We're here at the corner of Spring and Palo Verde Avenues. Now, this building was one of the more extensively damaged buildings, in addition to the school that you just saw. The tornado moved around the area here in East Long Beach for about 30 minutes. This is one of the spots where it touched down, and it tore all the way inside of this roof, as you can see. Several trees were knocked down and thrown into the street here on Spring Avenue, and also the McDonald's, which is just outside of this Lucky in the shopping center, was extensively damaged, including the sign was actually torn off. But the Lucky supermarket itself was the most heavily damaged out of all of those buildings. Reporting live from Long Beach, I'm Aaron Fitzgerald aboard Chopper 2. Back to you.
All right, Aaron. This is the sort of thing you expect to hear about in Kansas or, you know, down in the South, but not here.
Not here. And you see the way that roof was ripped up, and it's a miracle that nobody was hurt. We're very lucky there.
Yes.
Well, Steve Rambo warned us about the storm that spawned this twister. We in for more of this kind of weather, Steve?
We do have thunderstorms still in our forecast, and I'm not going to stand here and forecast another tornado for you, but the kind of conditions that created the tornado are still out there. Let's check our time-lapse forecasting tool and just see what's going on. Everything happened when the clouds rolled in, and then a cold front rolled on into the Southland this afternoon, and as that front rolled in, it brought the rain, and it also brought a lift into the atmosphere, and that's what gave us that heavy activity. That heavy rain is going to continue moving out east for the rest of the night tonight. Then we'll get a break in the action, some breaks in the clouds, but by tomorrow morning, more scattered activity rolling into the Southland, so scattered showers tomorrow. Then partly cloudy skies. After that, come back for the 7-day forecast. You'll be pleased, maybe, about what's coming up ahead.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
Thanks, Steve. Well, the rain did not stop thousands of people from gathering today to say farewell to Sonny Bono. It was a very emotional tribute filled with friends who shared their fond memories.
seriously. Tell me what you saw and what you did with the kids.
One of the parents came up to me and said, Mr. Vogel, take a look. And I looked over and a large funnel cloud was approaching the school. And so we told everybody to get in the auditorium cafeteria real fast, and it hit within seconds, ripping the roof off and taking trees with it, and get everybody safe.
Very good. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, most of it. Did you see it at all? Okay, did you see what through?
Yeah.
Tell me what you saw. What's your name?
Johnny Mae Moss.
And what did you see?
Well, I was sitting on my bus right there, and I dropped the kids. I was doing some paperwork, and I heard this noise, and I looked up, and it was like up when I saw it, and it was coming down like this, and it hit like right there where you see all those.
Okay. This is some of the damage that it caused when it came down. Broken heavy tree limbs. Path went straight through.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
We saw like we saw like roofs coming off onto that trash.
Yeah.
And it was tipping over trash cans and everything. And that's what I saw. They pushed me in that. You could be there.
Okay. That's part of the roof, huh?
Yeah. That's
all right.
part of the roof.
Okay, thanks a lot. Lots of wood flying?
No, it's just like one's wood and then a lot of branches came off the tree.
Part of the roof?
Yeah, some of the roof came off. There's some of the like plastic.
Okay.
Well, that was how it was in Long Beach today, where they had a real honest-to-goodness tornado. Nobody hurt. More on the weather coming up with Steve Rambo.
Well, I was sitting on my bus right there, and I dropped the kids. I was doing some paperwork, and I heard this noise, and I looked up, and it was like up when I saw it, and it was coming down like this, and it hit like right there where you see all those.
Okay. This is some of the damage.
We saw like we saw like roofs coming off onto that trash.
Yeah.
And it was tipping over trash cans and everything. And that's what I saw. They pushed me in that. You could be there.
Okay. That's part of the roof, huh?
Yeah. That's
all right.
part of the roof.
Weather watcher Lanny Valensky was brave enough to shoot those frightening scenes just as the twister struck yesterday.
And tonight, more than 24 hours after that tornado touchdown, the cleanup effort continues. One of the hardest hit spots, a supermarket. The sign at this Lucky store proudly tells customers open 24 hours. But not this weekend. Cleanup and salvage crews are replacing the shoppers. Friday's tornado ripped off part of the store's roof, so the job at hand, clean up, clear out, and repair the destruction. It is said something good comes from everything. In this case, damaged goods are now being donated to the Salvation Army.
They figured it'd go to different charitable organizations, and that's what we're going to do with it.
Residential areas also took a hard hit. Gordon Cohen says he heard his neighbor's tree snap, came outside to check it out, and then looked at his own house.
I turned around and I found that one of my 4 large turbines that cools the attic in the hot summer had completely blown away. My TV antenna had blown away, both of them into the yard of the house immediately behind me.
Still in disbelief, Long Beach residents are now learning the lesson folks in the Midwest are well acquainted with. Tornadoes are destructive and unpredictable.
Other houses in the direct path of this wind were completely unfazed. So it's really strange. Some of us were hit and some of us were not.
Well, we are told the Lucky store damage is expected to reopen Tuesday. Now, as for Mother Nature, another storm is on the way. Tony Williams will be here in just a few minutes with the latest forecast.
Her eyes from the start and after her first step.
The Channel 4 News, working for you.
And welcome back. In Long Beach, the cleanup is still going on after a tornado that ripped the roof off a Lucky's grocery store. This is what the store's roof looked like Friday after the twister ripped through it. Today, workmen milled about trying to repair the damage. Nearby residents say they just couldn't believe it when they saw that tornado.
It was swirling, and then the swirl got faster and faster, and I went, oh no, Lord, we're having a tornado.
The twister also snapped a tree into this house, taking out an entire patio overhang.
Now, because of the extensive damage, the Long Beach Luckies won't reopen for at least a week. Rick.
And a big cleanup job at one Southland business after part of its roof collapsed.